You called yourself a fighter. Can I rattle off 5 names for you and tell me if they're a fighter? Kamala Harris.
You know, I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to pass on passing judgment as to individual candidates that may run. Look, I think there's a lot of people that are going to run that would make an exceptional president. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think they will match up well against Donald Trump. I just don't. And I think that if the Democratic Party focuses on nominating the person that will make the best president, that's going to be a critical mistake. There's only one question at the end of the day, and that question is, can the potential nominee beat Donald Trump? Period. And part of that analysis has to be, can the nominee go into Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, and similar Midwestern states and really talk to some of the voters that crossed over from Obama and voted for Donald Trump in 2016.
Has Democratic leadership been strong enough? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer.
I think they've been strong enough, but I think, admittedly, that it's time for a change. I mean, I think that there is an undercurrent within the party brought by the younger generation, and everything has a time limit on it, right? Nothing lasts forever. I think that we've begun to see over the last few months, and certainly back in 2016, I think the seeds were sown relating to the need for a younger generation to be handed the baton to take the leadership of the party.
Is Michael Avenatti, can you tell me that you're qualified to be the next commander-in-chief?
Well, I certainly think I'm more qualified than the existing commander-in-chief. I think I'm more intelligent. I think I have a bigger heart. I think I have more courage. I think I would certainly command more respect. I think people would want to work with me. I think I'd be able to attract people to work with me, and I would surround myself with people. And it's not just about surrounding yourself with qualified people, but once you have them around you, you actually need to listen to them, because they likely have been spending decades on particular issues, whether it be defense or commerce or international relations. What good is it to bring them into the fold if you don't actually listen to them and if your ego doesn't allow you to share the stage, if you will, with some co-stars? So I'm certainly more qualified than the existing commander-in-chief, and I think that I have a really good shot at beating this guy.
Why are you doing this?
Well, I'm doing it because I believe that we find ourselves at a precipice of, potential disaster here in the United States as it relates to our republic. I think our republic is at risk. I think that the nation cannot afford another 4 years of Donald Trump and his disrespect for his office, his disrespect for working people, his policies. I think that this is an absolute disaster, and I think we could be on the precipice of catastrophe at any given moment with this guy in the White House. I mean, he never had the temperament to be in the job. He managed to con a lot of people out of votes. He's now there, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And I am prepared, if need be, to enter the race to potentially beat this guy.
What role do you play in the resistance?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. For many months, a lot of people tried to put me at the forefront of the resistance as the leader of the resistance, and I fought against that, frankly. I didn't view myself in that role. Over the course of time, I think I've begun to adopt that role or to accept it. I don't know whether I'm that person yet or not. I think there's a lot of people that can lead the resistance. The bottom line here is, whether it's me or somebody else, I think it is imperative that this man only serve 4 years at the most.
Medicare for all. Do you support Medicare for all?
I do. I think it's critically important that we provide a base level of health care protection for all Americans. To the extent that people want to have policies beyond that, they should be permitted to do so.
Abolish ICE?
Absolutely not. I do not believe ICE should be abolished under any circumstances. That's similar to telling people that we should abolish the police force. However, we need to curtail what ICE's policies and procedures are and the way they conduct themselves. We should not have ICE agents breaking down doors, going into homes, dragging mothers and fathers out of their beds, detaining them and deporting them after a decade or more of living here in the United States and contributing to society, just by way of example. So we need to change their scope, the way they conduct themselves. But I absolutely disagree with many of the other nominees, potential nominees for the party, when they say eliminate ICE. I don't think that's the answer. I want strong borders. I think the majority of Americans want strong borders.
500,000 Syrians have died over the last 5 years.